Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are pretty divisive games, yet despite that, the Paradox Pokemon they introduced have instantly become fan favorites, which is what makes the newest Pokemon card set, Paradox Rift, so good. They're brought to life with incredible illustrations from some of the best Pokemon card artists in 2023. And thanks to the Pokemon Company, I get to show you just how stunning that artwork is here today. Honestly, this is the most excited I've been to open up a set all year. Next, the Paldea Evolved. Of course, that set was bussin'. There's just a stunning breadth of illustrations between the art rares, SIRs, trainers. The list goes on. And the commons and the uncommons make this one of the best master sets of the last couple of years. Lovely Pansear. Nickit by Yu Nishida. She's really solidified herself as a pillar of the TCG since 2021. Gligar. Blipbug. Tatsugiri. This card's actually pretty decent. I always think of like fuzzy artwork when I think of Shibuzo, and this Tatsugiri, no exception. And the attack is pretty handy too, letting you get 2 cards from your deck and switching out to your bench. Dondozo by Kogi Saito, my absolute favorite. Tulip by Naoki Saito. I'm pretty sure she's got a pretty sought after SIR in this set. Plusle. Garchomp EX Gold to kick this whole thing off. As far as gold cards go, this is probably one of the better looking ones because of Garchomp's palette. It just contrasts really, really well with the gold. And these are pretty full on, and I think that's the point. The sparkle is incredible on this thing. I think Garchomp EX is a card to keep an eye on. It just needs a little bit more to support it to make it a viable deck. Hitting that straight away means there's going to be a good box, or we've peaked a little bit too early. Dotla. Tuxal by Yukamori. Lipod. Wimpod. Zep Striker by Gossan, fantastic artist. Crocolaw. I don't know if they've got an art rare or an illustrator rare in this set. I've kind of just kept I kept the spoilers to a minimum. I didn't want to really get the surprises ruined for me. Gimmighoul. I think this is the Gimmighoul you play if you're going to play the Goldengo EX deck because of the 70 HP. Otherwise, it's a victim to Iron Valiant, which is one of the other future Pokemon in this set, which is really solid. Tapu Koko EX by Hungry Clicker. In the bottom corner of this card, you're going to see it says HNCL as the illustrator, and that stands for Hungry Clicker. Now, they're a Japanese artist who established themselves on Twitter ages ago with a bunch of illustrations of fighting game characters. Then they moved on to video game characters, and now they draw for Pokemon too. It's a really nice Tapu Koko, and it's got that signature Hungry Clicker style. It's been impossible to keep up with Japanese sets, playing in a lot of different internationals and regional comps the last, 6, 7, 8 months. So I kind of avoid looking at like the illustrator rares, all the secret rares and stuff, because it just takes the fun out of it, I guess, when you eventually do get to open up the set. I've just found it more enjoyable to do it this way anyway. Techno Radar. This is a pretty good card that discards 1 card from your hand unless you set your deck for 2 future Pokemon. It's not too powerful now, but if we see more future Pokemon in the future, it's going to get a little bit better. So that's a pretty good playable. Countercatcher. This one is actually fantastic as well. This one's like Boss's Orders. It brings up one of your opponent's benched Pokemon and puts them in the active, except it's an item. So it means you can play it in the same turn where you play something like Iono or Roxanne. That's really powerful. Very solid card. Trubbish by Miki Tanaka. This is a simple yet effective illustration that tells you everything you need to know about Trubbish in one of the most consistent art styles of the last 20 years. I think Rift is going to solidify itself as one of the best sets from the Scarlet Violet block. It's hard to see how they step it up beyond this. You guys saw the video where I was speaking a little bit about Shiny Treasure EX, which is going to be next year's special set that we'll probably get sometime in like February or March. Iron Bundle. This one's by Oswaldo Kato, who always seems to find themselves illustrating Ice-type Pokemon. Iron Bundle's ability is pretty decent too, forcing your opponent to switch their active Pokemon out when you play it down, but you don't get to pick which Pokemon comes up from the bench. But as I was saying about Shiny Treasure EX, with that departure, what it feels like anyway, from illustrator rares and special illustration rares, and that move back towards shiny Pokemon, yeah, I'm a little bit apprehensive. Pokemon Company have been kind of looking after us though the last 2-3 years, so I don't want to be too much of a doomer, but it was a bit of an awkward looking sign. Larry, Crustle, into a Serena EX. Not a lot to say about these full art EX Terra Pokemon. Man, that's a mouthful. The texture and the glitter effect, it's really nice, and it's reminiscent of like shiny Pokemon from Hidden Fates and Shining Fates, but it's just not as good as a special art. Those are pretty solid hits to start this thing off. I've been pretty looked after. People make that comment about influencer boxes quite a bit, but every time I've opened up an influencer box, it's been pretty good. So hopefully we do. I do really want to find an illustration rare. I really want to find that Iron Valiant or the Roaring Moon, because those are insane. Veluza, Chantal, I definitely said that wrong. Gabador. This is actually a deceptively powerful card with a wicked illustration by Ayakusabe. They're an artist who's been drawing since the Neo Discovery days too. For just 1 dark energy, you can land 50 damage for every tool card in your hand. So it's a really easy way to deal like 300 or even 350 damage very, very quickly. One Pokemon that has a really nice illustration in this set that isn't an illustrated rare is the Scream Tail. Absolutely love it, and I'm hoping that we can see that in the next couple of packs here. Yamask, Surskit, Absol by Shinji Kanda. Holy. Feels like Shinji Kanda burst onto the Pokemon card scene in 2022, and we haven't looked back since. They're one artist that almost every collector looks forward to seeing more and more from every single set. It's definitely one of the cards that just takes your breath away when it catches you by surprise like that. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Okay, so I was hoping to find a couple of these. So this is a tool card that ancient Pokemon benefit from because it gives them 60 HP and it makes them immune to special conditions like paralysis, poison, burn, or sleep. It's going to see a lot of play in that Roaring Moon EX deck, which I'm sure we'll see a little bit more later on down the video. We're going to see this a lot in Roaring Moon EX, and I'm hoping that I can pull a couple of those today because I'm going to need them when I fly off to Brazil. Blitzel, is that another Shinji Kanda? That is definitely Shinji Kanda. We were lucky enough to get 2 cards from them in this set, and I can't help but feel we're due a new alternate art from him as well. I'm feeling an illustrator rare. Been talking a lot about him, been yapping just quite a bit of chit chat about it. It's time to actually show you guys what these cards look like. There's the Blitzel again, beautiful stuff. Bounce Sweet. Phoebus. You know, I really like this card. It's from a relatively new artist named Tetsu Kayama. I don't know, it just really feels like you're in an underwater cavern way down the bottom of the ocean with this Phoebus looking at you kind of sus. Very solid stuff there. Orbeetle. I feel like we've seen just a little bit too much Orbeetle over the last 3 years since Sword and Shield. Luxurious Cape and the cloth there. Iron Moth. Okay, I really like Iron Moth's design. I like Slitherwings as well, but I think Iron Moth's probably going to be one of my favorite Paradox Pokemon. And it's drawn by my favorite artist, Koki Saito, which makes it even better. It's just a really awesome twist on Volcarona, brought to life by an absolute legend. I think there's one more EX card that's illustrated by, I want to say like a unique artist, but I guess I'm just going to say not by Firebarn Graphics or Planetar. And I think it might be the Cofagrigus, but we'll find out. Elekid, Tinkertuff. That is nice. I actually really like that. Sochura Gunjima. Always very colorful and vibrant illustrations seem to come from Sochura Gunjima. Very cool. Trubbish. Crustle. I feel like we're getting the repeats now. Snorlax Doll. This card's actually going to be solid. It basically acts as like a fake Pokemon that you can pick up at any time, but you can only play it on your first turn when you're setting up. Fun fact, it's also technically the first Pokemon drawn by Ayumi Odashima, who in the past has only drawn item and stadium cards. Definitely hold on to these if you do pull them. Tinkaton by Keiichiro Ito. Durant. Golbat. Flittle. I feel like we got something in here. No, it's just another rare. That is a really nice rare. That has some like very early base set, you know, early 2000s. That's like a very early 2000 vibe to it. I guess one of the better things with booster boxes over stuff like ETBs and those, what were those booster bundles? The one that opened with 151, is that you're kind of guaranteed semi, or like the hit rates, the pull rates are kind of a little bit more defined. That's a nice Porygon. I feel like we're going to get one of these every set from debut artist Taiga Kayama. In the last set, we got the Chansey, and this time we're getting the Porygon. It's got the exact same vibe. Absolutely love that. Seadra. Damn, that is intense by Otomami. That is a Seadra, Kingdra actually got wicked cards in this set. Orthworm, not the biggest fan. I just don't like the design of this Pokemon. Just every time I see it, it just rubs me off the wrong way. Professor Turo's Scenario. Another illustration by Hungry Clicker, who's drawn Turo like an absolute Giga Chat. And for good reason, because this card lets you pick up any of your Pokemon and put them back into your hand, which is a great way to remove liabilities off the board, especially late in the game. If you're not following Hungry Clicker on Twitter yet, do yourself a favor. The dude is absolutely cracked with talent. Mienshao, Tandemaus, Fuecoco, and Iron Moth. Okay, that makes sense. So there's a normal rare holographic, and then there's a reverse. And you know what I gotta say? I feel like the reverses just look a little bit better. I don't know what it is, but it just hits that little bit different. Gone a little bit quiet here, which means we're definitely due. I'm feeling it. We're very due here. Apom by Aspera. They're a debut artist from Pokemon 151 who's back with a lifelike illustration of this cheeky little monkey. This set is gonna look so good in a master set. This may be one of the first English master sets I go for ever. Perfect for the Paradox Rift themed Vault X binder. With its sleek navy blue colorway and rainbow zip spine for a little extra flair, I'm looking no further than the SV4 binder. Seriously, this thing is stylish and sturdy with a soft felt inner, 9 pockets, all side loading, and most importantly, built to last. Treat yourself and take 10% off at vaultx.com or Amazon using the code below. Cheers! Really nice pansage there by Jerky. Cyclazar. Simisia, that's a bit full on. Crobat, that's nice too. That's one of the better Crobat. Actually, you know, having said that, Crobat I feel like always gets pretty solid illustrations. Flamingo. Porygon 2 by Kurumitsu. I feel like Kurumitsu is the kind of artist that sort of gravitates to Pokemon like Porygon 2. Very colorful. They have a very poppy, kind of cel-shaded style of illustration that lends itself well to Pokemon with color palettes like Porygon. There's going to be something like 50 to 70 different artists illustrating in this set. Kedama wa daitai yawarakai with the Joltik. That just feels like the kind of illustration that you'd frame and put above your fireplace. Loudred, if you have a fireplace. I don't have one. Remoraid. Pumpkaboo. Future Booster Energy Capsule. So this card buffs future Pokemon, giving them free retreat and adding 20 damage to their attacks. Both very powerful effects when paired together, but you can only use it on future Pokemon. Very good stuff. Screamtail. There it is. I don't know why I'm so excited to find this card, but the illustration on it just, I don't know, it just speaks to me. From the running pose of Screamtail to the luscious jungle background, man, Ryota Murayama has drawn probably my favorite card from the set. It's an awesome ancient rendition of Jigglypuff. That was one of the first revealed cards for Paradox Rift, and yeah, it's cool to pull it. I really like that. I am bundled. See, these cards look so good. The Future and Asia Pokemon, I'm telling you, best thing they ever did. The game, quite difficult to get through, but the new Pokemon designs really lifted up. Galvantula and a Mewtwo EX. As far as stereotypical Pokemon cards go, this one is right up there. It's sparkly, Mewtwo's popping out of it, and it's lightning type instead of psychic, which is kind of weird. But that's how Terra Pokemon go. It might end up being a playable card down the line as well. I think if I could find the Screamtail illustration rare, I'd be pretty satisfied with this box. Magby, that's really nice. This one's drawn by Naoyo Kimura, who recently drew the Pikachu with a grey felt hat promo that everybody was going wild over. But this one, it's a little bit different. It's just the chill Magby, which takes me right back to Gen 2. Vanillites. Oricorio. Very colorful. Swablu. Golgeist. That's nice. Nisimono. Ultra detailed. That is a really nice Golgeist. Rika. Professor Sada's Vitality. Here we go. This is one of the strongest new cards in Rift. It attaches energy from discard to 2 of your ancient Pokemon, and it lets you draw 3 cards. So that's energy acceleration and draw support. Both very powerful effects. Plus, the illustration is clean too, by legend Megumi Mizutani. Volcanion. Valtal. Okay. Hello. That is very nice. There we go. Valtal illustration rare. This card is exploding with color and style, perfectly capturing the warped and horrifying vibe of Valtal. It's almost like it's halfway through sucking the life out of you. It's illustrated by Masako Tomi, a new artist who debuted with the warped Gloom art rare. We're simmering, you know, we're cooking a little bit. Fire's started. Starting to get some wafting aromas through the kitchen. Okay, we're starting here. Flittle. Nickit, there, Unishida. Again, Knackley, the Minecraft Pokemon. Earthen Vessel, very good card. This one lets you grab 2 energy from your deck if you discard 1 other card. Pairs very well with Ultra Ball, Red Ink Greninja, and a bunch of other cards from the set. It's going to be usable in many different decks. Very strong card. See that a lot in many different ancient and future decks. Medical Energy, and even normal decks like Chian-Pao, Steenie. Morpeko, this is really nice too. It's a handy card that'll see play with Roaring Moon EX thanks to its ability in a Hungry Hurry. It's drawn by artist Kona Itanda, who most notably drew the Erika's Invitation from Pokemon 151. Honest reaction so far to this box, pretty decent from the playable side when it comes to supporters, items, and tools. Is kind of lacking with the EX Pokemon. Actually, Natu, this is actually a good find. So you'll need this to power the Xatu engine, which we should see later on. But for now, it's another solid illustration by Ryoma Urotsuka, known for the white outlines they always draw around their Pokemon. But yeah, I really want to see a Roaring Moon EX or an Iron Valiant, because those are the EX Pokemon they're going to see a lot of play, which means they're going to be the most expensive if you're trying to buy them as singles. Cursed Duster, Orbeetle. We've seen too many Orbeetle the last few years. Tinkertuff, Nickit, and Militich. Haven't spoken about this too much because I haven't really been streaming an awful lot either. which I wish I could do more of, but I am going to Brazil for the Latin America International Championship, which is why I haven't been streaming that much. A lot of prep work going into that tournament. And the reason why I need to find so many of these Paradox Rift cards, because it's the first tournament where this set is legal, which means the cards are the hardest to find at any point of the year. Rock. Minior. A lot of people thought this was the answer to Iron Hands EX, but they were sadly mistaken. Nevertheless, it's a sick illustration by new artist okJLUV. I'm from a generation of Australian kids that calls cool things that are awesome, that we really like, sick. It's a compliment. It's a good thing, trust me. Semi-Paw, Bounce Sweet, Steelix. Oh, that is awesome. Cards like this leave me really hungry for more from Paul Suzuki, an artist who's only drawn 2 cards so far, but clearly has the talent to give us a stunning illustration rare sometime soon. Set just keeps blowing me away. Sandy Shocks EX by Planeta Mochizuki. I gotta say, the fighting type secret rares always get really nice backgrounds, and with the ancient effects for Sandy Shocks, just gives it a little bit more flair too. This is definitely one of the better secret rares to find from this set. Okay, so not bad so far to start. 6 of the solid hits. The Volatile illustration rare, that is very clean. And the Garchomp EX Gold. You cannot complain about gold cards. That's gonna be a handy card over the next year or two, I think. Still really hanging out for that Screamtail illustration rare. Nimble, I do not like this line of Pokemon. No bueno, Yamask, Spinder, Tinkertink, really cute. That's why, because it's by Terzidor. Really nice use of shading here to generate some lighting in a dark cave. And with the colorful jewels surrounding a nervous Tinkertink, just makes for a really cool combination. Definitely one of the more popular lines from the Scarlet Violet block. Gliscor, Simisage. Absolutely love how intense this illustration is by Kurataso. All the Pansage Evos in this set have really, really solid illustrations. They're well and truly looked after. There's that Absol again. Onyx, not as good as the Steelix by Shibuningaru. Magby, really like this card. And that's Iga Slash, we got there. The set has definitely motivated me to properly finish Scarlet and Violet. I got up to the Elite Four and then I put it down. And I guess one of my criticisms of the game is that you don't really see a lot of the Paradox Pokemon until you finish the Elite Four and you get to Area 0. So while I like these designs a lot, I haven't actually been naturally exposed to them in the game, which sounds a little bit silly, but I've appreciated them from afar. Earthen Vessel, so we got 2 of those, that's good. Gible, Oricorio, and Iron Valiant EX. Let's go. That is a huge dub. This is by far one of the best EX cards you can find from the set, not just because the design is really cool, but because its ability, Tachyon Bits, lets you drop 20 damage when Iron Valiant moves into the active spot. So the more Iron Valiant you have in play, the faster you can tear down basic Pokemon with low HP. Plus, the future texturing on the card just makes it look really, really clean too. I really do hope they keep this momentum up, like the consistency, the variety in cards like this. Sharkadet. I feel like this card just really sums up Sharkadet. It's a tiny little fella, but he's full of heart, brought to life by Mizue. Because it just keeps the value proposition of buying Pokemon cards up. If you bought sets in the past like Sword and Shield, Rebel Clash, Vivid Voltage, those sets kind of let you down. But with this variety of common, uncommon, and rare illustrations, and the addition of illustration rares, it always feels like you're going to get something decent. Crocalor. Is that nice? It's like a chill Crocalor card. Very cool. Hey, here we go. TM Evolution. So attaching this to any Pokemon and attacking lets you evolve 2 of your benched Pokemon at the end of your turn, which really helps decks like Gardevoir rapidly set up and maintain tempo. It's pretty obvious that not everybody who watches Pokemon card pack opening content on YouTube is really interested in the game. And I'm sure when you guys hear us talk about the game, players, you kind of switch off a little bit, or maybe you're not too interested, and it's understandable because, to be honest, watching the game, if you don't understand how it works, is extremely boring. Having said that, this is probably the best time to get into it if you are mildly interested, because of the variety of decks and the chaos that has kind of started with cards like Ancient Booster, Energy Capsule, Roaring Moon EX, and Iron Valiant. So we got 2 of those now. That happened again. Maybe it's something cool. It's a Xatu. It's actually pretty decent. So the ability on this one, Clairvoyant Sense, accelerates energy from your hand and draws you a card. Both really powerful effects. Plus, the artwork by new artist Tetsukayama is just really nice too. When one of the main future Pokemon from this set, Iron Hands, got revealed, there was a lot of furore that, you know, players saying that the format and the game was going to be kind of ruined. But I disagree. I think the chaos that cards like Iron Hands introduced has been pretty healthy for the meta, and it's I don't know, in a way, kind of made me look at the game a little bit differently and experiment a whole bunch more too. Earthworm, 2 in the 1 pack. Come on, man. Nimble, Wo-Chien. I think Iron Valiant EX, this Gallade looking fella. People saying this is a future Gardevoir. It's definitely a future Gallade. Cards like that are going to make it more exciting to watch. And if you're playing the deck, a little bit more fun too. Spinder, Nimble, don't like this line at all. Kid, that's a nice one. That one is by Aoki. Always such chill vibes from Aoki. Their cards always feel like they just radiate a warm, inviting glow. Vanillish, love me some black and white. Technical Machine, Blindside. This one, as far as the TMs go, not that good. So I don't expect to see this get a lot of play. A lot of energy to just do 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. And cards like a Manaphy will protect it. So not that great. Crocodile, there's another Minior. Toxel, Simicia, told you, the Simi line is cooking here. And Serena EX, a water type Pokemon with grass energy requirements. It's pretty random, but that's Serena EX and Terra type Pokemon for you. The attack seems cool, but I can't see a way to make the deck work just yet unless you played it inside something like Meowscarada EX, which also uses grass energy to attack. But I don't know. Gone quiet on the art rares again. And actually, now that I think about it, we haven't seen a Brute Bonnet. I do need one of those to run in Roaring Moon. And the art rare on that, or the illustration rare, I should say. Wait, is it? It's art rare, isn't it? I don't know, I keep saying illustration rare. The art rare on it for it is Wicked. Ferroseed, Gibble, Medical Energy, Iron Bundle. So we've got a few of those. Gliscor, Flittle, seen that a few times. Phoebus, come on. I think this is just gonna be a rare. It is, it's a Palkia. Really hanging out for that screen tail. It is, that's all I can think about right now. Wiglet, Tomokazu Komiya, very nice. Hey, Jirachi by Naoya Kimura. So that's 2 cards by Naoya Kimura in this set, and a solid one too. Plus the ability Stellar Veil protects your Pokemon from Sableye, so expect to see this in a lot of decks. As somebody who played a lot of Lost Box this year, I am sad to see cards like that get printed, but all good things must come to an end. Durance, I had a lot of fun with Lost Box. TM, Turbo Energize, not bad. This one accelerates 2 energy from your deck to your Pokemon in any way you like, which makes it an excellent setup card if you find yourself going second with it. Decent card. Pansage, Honedge, that's nice. That is very nice. And Iga Slash, that's got to be the 3rd or 4th Iga Slash today. There's got to be a better rare Pokemon than Iga Slash that I could be finding multiple times, but it always seems to be one that is kind of useless in the game. Bounce Sweet. Although I should actually read what it does. Maybe it's not too bad. Future Booster. So it's 2. That's good. Simisage. They're cooking. The Simmering. Norman. Veluza. Velutza. Velaza. Groudon. I think this is going to be okay. There's a nice art rare in this set for that too. And an Iron Moth. You know what would fix all those problems with pronouncing Pokemon's name and not knowing how to say it? Voice acting. But asking too much. Gligar, Blipbug, Fuecoco, Honedge, or Honedge. Professor Sada's Vitality. So that's 2 or 3. Another Tatsugiri. Are we simmering here? Dondozo. I feel like that's the 2nd time we've gone from a Tatsugiri into a Dondozo. Quite fitting. Snorunt, Tinkertink. It's a different Tinkertink illustration in this set. This is 2. Espathra with Tulip. That's interesting that Tulip is on the illustration or Espathra in the background, but I don't mind it. I think that's actually really cool. By Tezero. Not the first time that a trainer or gym leader has been in the background of just like a normal illustration, a normal common, uncommon, rare card, but it is pretty surprising in this era of character rare. Sharkadet, Flittle, where you normally see the trainer on a character rare. Team Evolutions, we got 2 of those, very nice. Vanillux, Defiance Vest, Minior, we got 3 now. Iron Jugulus, here we go. This is just another wicked Paradox Pokemon illustrated by modern legend Soichiro Gunjima. It's a card that's got a huge potential because its attack puts 50 damage on 3 different Pokemon. Definitely becoming a little bit of a snooze fest here when it comes to the art rares. We definitely need to see an art rare to lift this thing back up. Joltik, Loudred, Tulip, Naoki Saito, nice. Chantal. I saw this card actually. It's kind of random. It either bosses up or lets you switch if tails. You wouldn't really play cards like this unless there may be an application, but it's kind of random. Milotic, Surskit, Latios, Psychic type, nice. What's going on, Big Pika? Getting a bit Getting a bit sleepy here. Where's my Roaring Moon EX? okJLUV. This takes me back. Another beautiful clay model created by artist Yuka Mori. This time, okJLUV, chilling as a wave hits the cove. Reminds me of one of the first cards drawn by Koki Saito. Just really strong Gen 2 vibes from this. I do love me some Gen 2, so maybe that's why. Golbat, Larry, the Everyman, Wug Trio. Koki Saito's got a few cards in this set. Another Techno Radar. We take those. We definitely take those. Steenie, Crocolaw, Panpaw. Come on, man. Come on, brother. Ooh, what's this? Tulip. Very nice. Naoki Saito. Back at it again with the full art trainers. Let's go. Tulip. Well, she's definitely one of the more memorable gym leaders from Scarlet Violet, and she's illustrated by Naoki Saito. So I fully expect this to become a popular card in Japan over the next couple of years. Would I trade a Tulip for a Roaring Moon EX? Just the regular one? Yes. Any day of the week. Where's my Roaring Moons at? Mantike. Gabite. Cyclizar. Just, you know, it's by Kawio, who I love. I love Kawio's work. And it's got very strong Kawio vibes, but it's the bike Pokemon. And it's not even like the cool one. It's just not it, man. Toadscruel. Slitherwing. Let's go. Unsucker Dynamic. This is a card that had huge potential, let down by the fact that its attack does 90 damage to itself. Haven't seen a TM devolution yet, and I do want to find a couple of those because that is going to be a very handy tool card. Whismur, Flamigo. What do you think TM devolution does? Pretty self-explanatory stuff. Countercatcher, so another one. We take those. Absol, Masquerain, Porygon Z, Zubat, and Chiyu. Okay, so getting towards the back end of this box, I think there's a few packs left. This is what we're looking at so far. Lacking in the art rare category. I'm hoping to find another couple. One of those to be Screamtail. Maybe another EX. Take another Valiant. I'll take a Roaring Moon. Let's see how we go. I feel it. I feel it. I sense it. He's cooking. This is it. I'm feeling a Roaring Moon. Trubbish. Gimme Ghoul. We got a few, so I feel like we can start making that Goldengo deck. We do need to get some Goldengo EX though. Another Jirachi. Nice. Durant. Turbo Energize. Okay, fine. Wug Trio. Knuckle Stack, Lipod, Galissapod. I will say, as a player, do not rely on opening packs to build your decks because it will get very expensive. Trading card game. Trade your cards to get the decks to play the game. That's the way to do it. Or buy singles. Natu. Good engine. We take those. Garbodor. Another future booster. Good. I feel like we're getting close to a play set. Screamtail. I love it. This will probably go in Gardevoir if it sees any play. Good synergy. That's what we call synergy. I invented that. Doublade. Miltank by So-So. Here we go. So-So is one of the TCG greats. This time adding Miltank in a calm field to their repertoire of Pokemon illustrations. What do we got here? Roaring Moon. Hey, okay. Another playable EX. That's kind of sus because I was talking about Goldengo EX and the deck. Say what you will about the design of Goldengo. Honestly, the card is pretty good, dealing 50 damage for each energy you discard from your hand. So this is great with stuff like Earthen Vessel. Plus, the ability lets you draw cards each turn, and we like seeing draw support. The card design, it's pretty fun too, making it a great choice for people that are just starting out with the TCG. I'm not likely to play Goldengo EX, but somebody else might, therefore I will trade them. Yeah? If you want to trade Goldengo EX for Roaring Moon EX and you're in Australia, hit me up. Miltank, Wimpod. Devolution, there we go. We just want to see another couple of these because this tool lets you de-evolve two of your opponent's Pokemon, meaning you can set up plays where you KO them with pre-placed damage to close out games. It's a bit trollish. Good card. Hold on to those. Exploud, Mela. Not bad, but fire decks don't have a lot of support in this set. They're not very strong. Well, they have a lot of support, I should say, but the decks aren't that great yet. Natu, again, we take them, and what a solid box. Let's go, baby. Roaring Moon EX. It's a front runner for best card in the set. And not just because the design and illustration by Takuyawa is so good, more so because it can one-hit KO any Pokemon in the game thanks to Frenzied Gouging, dealing 200 damage to itself, but quickly taking care of any major threats. And being an ancient Pokemon means it pairs beautifully with Professor Sada's Vitality. All we need now to round this out, Screamtail Art Rare. Come on, man. Make my dream come true, bro. Seadra, Magby, Vanillites, Booster Energy. I feel like that's 4 Big dub. Don't like Earthworm. Turo. Good supporter. Another devolution. We're on fire here. Nazacian. I'm a believer. I've always been a believer. The world is better when you have hope. All right? It's better to have hope than to be a doomer. And this is coming from a doomer as well. Toadstool. Toxel. Minior. Another one. Dondozo. Veluza. Sharkadet. Porygon Z. Hey, you know, low-key was hoping to find this. I actually had this one spoiled for me, but I didn't mind because it's another straight banger from Gosan. One of the funkiest art rares from the set and an awesome way to end this box.